May it be a light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
Hey guys, this is DCHL Devin here.
And this is DCHL Walker.
And welcome to another episode of A Light in the Dark. And this is our question and answer series where you guys ask questions in the comment section below. And we go ahead and answer them because we are the experts on all things Lord of the Rings.
So, I would say fanatical, not necessarily an expert.
We're extremely fanatical. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. The first question we have is from One Good Riddance. It says, hello Devin, I have two questions for you guys. First, what is the board size of the games in the Grand Tournament in Nova? So, and second, what would the following list be legal, assuming it adds up to 700 points? Full Hobbit army plus Gandalf. So I guess I'll go ahead and just answer these real quick.
Yes to the 4x4. Haha, I cut him off. Yeah, right now it's 4x4 guys, unless we get word that we can do 4x6s if Nova has enough. Right?
Yeah, Nova's actually supplying 4x6 tables, so we might end up just doing it on that. We just don't know how much terrain we're getting to cover a full 4x6 table. Plus, a 4x6 is kind of unnecessary for a 700-point match.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit big.
4x4, guys. 4x4.
Yeah, a little easier for the scenarios. And secondly, as far as your second 700-point list, quick answer, yes. All you need to do is have just two factions. Now, I think the reason this question is coming up is because of Gandalf being by himself. Gandalf is in the exception list of units that do not need to bring in an army or a warband, so you're good there.
Couldn't they bring the pony then, Bill?
Yeah, you could.
That way you get a banner.
Yes. Actually, that is a great idea. So if you're doing a Hobbit army, I highly recommend doing Build a Pony. So, and you can just drop them, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That would be actually really good. And then if you wanted some more fighting power, you could throw in Gimli or Aragorn, depending on how many hobbits you wanted to take out to put in those guys.
Any of the White Council members, any of the Wanderers of the Wild, all of them, all can be thrown in. Thorin's Company, so if you just want to throw in Bilbo real fast, you can do that. The rules for alliances are actually really not strict at all, quite open to be honest.
You're going to put in a link?
Just so in case you guys don't know about the rules for Nova, we'll go ahead and put in a link below. It's also on my site, it's on Nova's site, so either of those places also will work. So let's go on to the next question from XTSWarzone. He says, thanks for answering my questions, guys. I was actually thinking about fielding a load of Muhad Raiders led by the Muhad King. Anyway, my question is, if you equip a model with a banner and then place him on the howdah of a Mummak, does it provide the Mummak with a reroll? It says the Mummak acts as a banner to your models, but not to itself. Just wondering. So, that's actually kind of a cool trick. Yeah.
I don't know why I would do it, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to give the Mummak one extra roll, because a lot of people know the Mummak only gets 3 attacks when you pin it in combat. Even if you give them tusk weapons, the tusk weapons only help you for your trample and not for an actual attack. So I guess it's kind of cool you get a reroll.
Yeah, but is it worth all those points? I mean,
30 extra points. I would only
on the model that's already even expensive beyond belief.
There's some certain upgrades I can think of for an equivalent cost of a banner, and even beyond that, I'd rather upgrade all my troops to Watchers of Karna, for the same point cost. So, assuming you've already purchased all your upgrades and already purchased, tusk weapons and some of the Karna upgrades and stuff like that for your troops on top of the howdah, and you just have 30, something points.
Actually, it wouldn't necessarily be bad because there's certain missions that you have to have a banner because it gives you victory points. And instead of putting it on the ground, running around with your troops,
the Mummak counts as a banner.
Counts as, but is not a banner. So it doesn't work with that rule.
Okay, maybe, I guess depending on the wording, we actually should look up because some of them actually are a banner. Like the Golden King is a banner. So, depending on the wording, if the Mummak says he counts as a banner, then you already pretty much have a banner. But if it doesn't, if it says, like Haradrim, count him as a banner, then he's not a banner, in which case, right. I do think it says counts as a banner. I'd have to look that up. But yes, to answer your question in short,
it'd be cool.
Yeah, the banner would work. It does do it. It's probably not the most effective use of points, but it can work.
Yeah.
So, all right, next is from Akathon39. And he says, are there any major game mechanics that you'd want to change about the game?
Yes.
Walker already has something in mind.
Yeah, I read this one earlier and I was like, oh, I have a good one. So, they used to have it, but they do not. Back in the Lord of the Rings time, before they made it into The Hobbit, there was spear models could only support same size bases. And that has gone away.
I agree with Walker.
So you have this little. I do it too if I'm playing like a tournament type style and really trying to get people good with the rule mechanics. You know, having that one spearman run up behind a cavalry model or a troll, and support through.
Theoretically, yes. In this game, and you guys are going to face it in Nova, and unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it because, as even a tournament judge, I have to go by the official wording of the rules.
Letter of the law.
Yeah, there is nothing restricting a goblin or a Harajim spearman from supporting Lama Kill in combat.
Yeah, which is dumb.
You could give the Lama Kill an extra attacks just by doing that.
So anybody playing Harad, make sure you run a spearman behind your Mumak and support through. Basically, he's just riding on one of the legs and just stabbing out his spear. That's what he's doing.
He's doing really well at his job.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to know how he supports through a troll.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, back in the day, you could only support models of a similar base size.
Yeah. That would be one. That's the first one that popped
it probably needs to come back into play. I guess, having not really thought about this too long, a major rule. There is one rule that I'm not really too much of a fan of, and that's the whips special strike. But that's not like a major rule. It's kind of like just something I think is useless. Like I don't see too many opportunities where I'd care to use it.
What, you mean that 2-inch range attack? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I guess that, but no, that one actually has more use than you drop your fight value to 1, and then you get to strike all models in base contact with
them. You're talking about what the whirlwind
the whirlwind.
The mace has. That's pretty good, because I've had to use it a couple of times. It's very rare that you get to use that one, but you have those goblins on the side flanks from Goblin Town, and they have maces, and they can run up and get surrounded, and that's the whole point. Who cares if they die? Honestly, but they get one hit per, so that all of a sudden they went from only having one attack to there's 4 guys in base contact. They have 4 attacks. Whoa!
Fair enough.
It's very situational though. You don't get to use it as much as the swords or the 2.
Not something that needs to be changed. Actually, you know what? I just thought of it. Something I would change. Now, this isn't so much a main rules thing, but I would add 2s to the wound chart. I saw this once in the One Ring. Someone posted this where they talked about why not add 2s so that way, the big complaint about Piercing Strike on Goblin Town is you do it almost with no risk half the time. Well, realistically, there actually is a risk, a lot more often than people think. But
wounding on 3s.
Generally, you go down to 3s, but still, one frustration I do have is like Balrogs or even worse, a Trebuchet, like hitting a target and failing to wound on a 2. Frustrates me a little bit, so I kind of wish there were 2s on the wound chart.
I think I would disagree on that. It's because in Lord of the Rings, it's harder to kill your guys. If a Balrog comes down, people are going to jump out of the way and things like that. That's my opinion on it. I like that rule. I think it's good because there's going to be a lot of times when you don't wound and things don't happen like that. So I think that's a good one.
All right.
This one has been FAQ'd, but the trolls being able to pick up people and, not officially FAQ'd, but to pick up and turn around and chuck them in another direction.
Yes, and actually GBHL FAQs kind of deal with that and talk about how this is actually going to be officially ruled to change, where if you guys don't know, go on the DC Hobby League site and you can find the GBHL's FAQs, which actually Nova will be following. We actually follow those FAQs in all our events.
It just makes sense. So basically, he has a 90-degree, 180-degree arc from where he picks up the model to chuck them. So,
All right, then I guess the spear support rule, since Walker seems to shoot down all of my ideas. So, I guess...
if you had a good
I
one.
have no opinion. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next question here, and Ash Dog Plays. He says, "Hey guys, I'd like to ask what I should include in a 400-point Minas Tirith list and a 500-point Harad Numbar list. Keep up the good work." All right, so
heroes and warriors.
yes. You should at least include those. No. 400 point. Let's start with the first one. 400 point Minas Tirith.
Okay.
So, ultimately, the cool part about Lord of the Rings, and I'll just start here, is there's really no real way you must make your list. It's a good thing, and like when you play like games like 40K and stuff, there are those auto includes. You just must take them. And in this game, there's very few of those. And in Gondor, I couldn't say there's very many. It kind of depends on what you're going for, but if you do bring some of the bigger guys, then I'd recommend like Damrod and Baragon, who allow you to spam up troops for Minas Tirith. So
because they're so cheap.
Yeah, I almost never go into a fight without one of those. Damrod or Baragon just bringing in it actually allows Minas Tirith to hoard almost better than goblins do in some certain scenarios.
Well, they have good defense at that point.
Yeah.
Good fight, good strength. They're spears.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't call, like, I know it sounds weird, but like Aragorn and Boromir, they're not things you should include at 400 points.
I wouldn't include either of them at 400 points. They're just too much. They'd be too much of your fours.
Yeah, like, if you do get Boromir, don't give him the flags. He's already like half your points.
Yeah, so is Aragorn.
They're just
I was thinking, if you wanted to do one of the main characters, maybe Faramir.
Yeah, instantly. I'd just go with Faramir.
Yep.
I think he's that good mid-range hero at that point level. And then you can just put in guys like Madril or whatnot. Or Syrian. Kyrian or Syrian. Okay, I was messing his name.
You could do that, or you could just do Faramir, and I think you could probably get You could probably get 2 warbands, maybe 3, depending on how you work it out. I'd probably throw like in 2 Cav, Knights of Minas Tirith.
Just a couple. I like Knights of Minas Tirith. They're a pretty decent point cost. Not
Plus
as
they have a lance.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're pretty much a slightly more expensive version of the Harad Raiders. A little armored up.
Yeah.
But
that armor can make a big difference.
Well, as far as warrior troops, I mean, we're focusing on heroes. So the cheap heroes and Faramir. And then as far as warrior troops, I think an auto include for me is the Fountain Court Guard. I mean,
Everybody plays with those. You don't see the regular warriors anymore.
Yeah, you really don't go because the Fountain Court Guards just really start just.
But this is a low point cost, so you won't get very many.
Even 12 of them is like it's only a little over 130 points. Like it's not too much.
See, I was thinking go for a theme. Do some Defenders of Osgiliath or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess if you want to go for a theme.
Or do Faramir and his Rangers. That would be really cool at 400 points because, you get all the bow fire and everything from them. So that would be actually really good at 400 points. You get quite a few bows and stuff like that. Which, in that small point game, it actually makes a huge difference.
I'd rather pick Rangers than if I'm going to go for the bow fire just because they shoot a little better than the Osgiliath veterans. So,
Faramir and his Rangers?
The thing about it is, ultimately you asked the question, I'm going to have to think you mean tactically. And tactically, it's the Fountain Court Guard and the Rangers that really hurts your opponent the most. Maybe Citadel Guard, stuff like that. You can bring in the regular warriors. There's no problem with that. In fact, I'd recommend it. You bring in, like, say, Baragon with a whole retinue of, Minas Tirith warriors to allow you to spam out your bows, try to get 3 warbands worth.
Yeah.
That would help you. So I think these are the units you most often see in a Minas Tirith list in a kind of a competitive sense.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what I would include.
I see Fountain Court Guard.
Yeah. So I guess if that didn't answer your question, just go a little more specific. Like, what kind of army are you trying to build? Are you trying to be shooting heavy? Or are you trying to be
write us an example list of what you think would be good based on our suggestions, and then we can go from there. Let's go to the Harad.
All right. So Harad, we have 500 points. Now this is so variable, depending on what you want to do. And I'll just start off here. Okay. So there's the classic shoot 'em up type of force where you get 50% Harad, and you just go ahead and
pound for
blast
pound.
them.
One of the best warrior choices in Harad, I think, is the Serpent Riders.
Yeah.
They're really good. They have basically lances when they're mounted, spears when they get knocked to foot.
Yep.
And then they have a reroll of 1s to wounds.
And I'd easily say that you should probably bring the.
You could bring a good side chunk of them.
Riders.
Yep. I like the big fat guys.
Oh, Lackerban Guard.
Guard. And then throw a Harad behind them to support them to get an extra attack.
The Golden King. All right, so basically that's what I would say. Akraban Guard, Serpent Guard just behind them.
Yeah.
And then, if not that, then let's say that's if you're doing Harad.
Yeah.
If you're doing.
Well, he said Harad or Umbar.
And Umbar. The other option you can pick is Reavers in Corsairs, which, I mean, we're giving you kind of the nastier units. I mean, like I said, we don't know 100% what you're going for here. But if it is competitiveness...
So, this is a question for you. Are you trying to just, like, destroy a friend of yours that you want to become an enemy? Or are you taking this to a tournament? Are you bringing it to Nova or Historicon? I mean, it's too small of points, but
well,
maybe he's bringing it to the doubles or something like that, and you want a good, solid list to help out your buddy.
I mean, if you want us to build a list also, just let us know. Let's say, hey, build me a list for this size. And I guess then, we'll just do that. So
Hurrah just has so many choices because it's technically 3 forces all put into one.
Because I haven't even talked about the Muhad yet.
Yeah, like, or the Farharad.
Yeah, the Muhad, same. Muhad and Farharad. There's too many options here. So
Camel Riders. Ooh, Camel Riders.
Yeah. I would easily play those.
Or just their troops, because the blowguns don't count for bows, so you could just have a really cool giant bow force.
I've actually used that.
Stim, put the blowpipes in front, and then Harad archers in the back, and just, oh look, they're coming towards me. Shoot, poison, dead, aha!
And then breaking their.
And then bring the ring wraith. Which one's the one that increases your poison?
Oh, Betrayer.
And bring him.
Yeah, 500 points, you could probably fit him in there.
Yeah, he'd be a lot of points, but it's fine.
So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and move on to the next question. Hopefully we hear from you again on that one and hear what you want. So, next question is from, I believe it's Elias. Elias Kvint. So, this Swedish name. So I might be, or Kint. Yeah, maybe we're going to assume the K is silent.
Or the V is silent.
Or the V, I'm sorry, the V is silent. So anyway.
We're Americans, we butcher all the languages, I'm sorry.
We're ignorant people. No.
We don't speak 6 languages, sadly.
He says, hello guys. I was wondering if you can be under the effects of 2 Furies, so you can have a 5-up save, and if you fail, you get another one. Also, next Nova, you will hopefully have another team, Team Sweden, although it would probably be 1 man. Keep up the good work.
So let's address the Team Sweden. You are more than welcome to come, and you may ally yourself with whoever you would like.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it all depends on if you want to go with the winners or the GBHL. And I mean, then you can. No, we keep trying.
Or you can join. You could join Canada.
Yeah, there you go.
It's coming down to
Canada.
Yeah, maybe.
He says
neutral forces.
That would actually be cool. We would absolutely welcome you, and we'd make this like a whole World Cup thing where you have teams representing everywhere. 1 man can make a difference.
We should make something cool for it.
For Sweden?
No, like just overall, like have a trophy, and every year everybody brings it back, and you fight over the trophy.
That'd be cool. Actually, that's an idea.
For like Team America or Team Britain, they get to take home the trophy and have bragging rights for that year.
That is actually a good idea. We might consider something like that.
That'd be cool.
To answer your question,
this is a
quick question, real fast. No, nothing in Lord of the Rings really stacks. So Fury, Harbinger of Evil, almost anything that you see that makes some kind of effect like that, it's not going to stack. So,
but you do get Fury and a Fate save. If you have a Fate save.
And if you're wondering why that it doesn't stack, it's actually just kind of the wording of it. It's just, whenever a model under the effects of Fury in general.
I think it actually has clarification in the spell. You can't be affected. You can't be affected by the same spell twice.
Yeah. So, but it's 100%.
It's just like in the magic phase. If somebody's casting Black Dart at you, and they try, and so another thing tries to cast Black Dart, or the Compel and things like that, you cannot be affected by the same spell in the same turn.
No, Black Dart.
Not Black Dart. I'm talking about the Compel. Sorry.
Okay. Well, you can't move him twice.
Right. You can't move him twice. Even if he passes his courage save, it's the same effect. So it would fall under the same ruling at least.
All right, so we're going to go ahead to the next question. It's from Dirk Helms, and he says, he has 2 questions. Is the Great Beast of Gorgoroth a good replacement for the Mumak? And second question, he has a huge Moran and Orc army, 600 models, and he does a lot of conversions. That was a lot of models. And he's asking, is it legal to swap mortal orcs with Moran and orcs in a game? Like Moran and Orc Rog Riders, a Great Beast of Gorgoroth mounted with Morannon Orcs or Morannon Orc siege troops. So let's go ahead and go with the first question. Is a Great Beast of Gorgoroth a good replacement for a Mumak?
It's not as powerful as the Mumak.
Well, So I think he's asking the question based on it does those trample hits. In that case, no. You really wouldn't. And here's the reason why. Is because the Mumak does 3 strength 9 hits.
Right.
The Great Beast does a single strength 6. The Great Beast will fail to wound half the time. He's not going to go very far. You should think of that trample as a novelty. I use Great Beasts all the time. I love them.
Right, yeah.
But they operate better as a war wagon than what the Mumak is. The Mumak just relishes jumping into combat. He will rarely fail to wound. 3 strength 9 hits, you're going to get your target. You generally just need a 3 to show up in one of the dice. And that's assuming you didn't buy tusk weapons. The Great Beast, I mean, strength 6 hit, it's a novelty. It's nice to have, but you should think of the Great Beast as a way to abuse the bow limit. And that's basically what he is. He is a platform carrier for a bunch of bow arm models. Now, I know it sucks. Okay, they have 5 shoot value, but the best part is they never count as moving. So it's just like as if you had orc trackers that could move all the time, 10 inches, and continue to fire from a heightened position. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, and then the best part is you can spam them up because they're like a fraction of the cost of a Mummak.
Yeah, they're tiny. Tiny in comparison. Which I think they're good because the points cost is so much less. I mean, the trade-off is they're, like you said, the mobile platform.
They're very good if you think of them as a mobile platform, but if you think of them as this thing you can just run in there and devastate armies, no, they can't.
If you have like 12 of them.
You could, and at like 750 point list, you could get 5 of them in with an orc captain. And that would give you 9 times 5 shots, which is like 45. So you get 45 shots a turn moving at full speed. You would hurt. So that would actually hurt. I'd actually like to try that. We should try that one day. I'm getting ideas. Second question, actually, Devin Walker, he says, is it legal to swap the Mortal Orcs for Morannon Orcs?
I don't see a problem with it. Just let your opponent know before you start playing, and because they look pretty close to the same.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see an issue with it at all. In fact, you'll see a lot of players do swaps of like a model because they like the aesthetics of it. Like, so I'm trying to think of a good example here. I did it with, Lake Town, my Lake Town army actually. I wanted to have a reason to use the Wind Lance. So what I did was I just kind of ally in bolt throwers, and then I use, militia operating a Wind Lance, and that's my bolt thrower. Same rules, just different models operating, whatever.
Yeah.
So an opponent won't have a problem with that as long as you just make it clear what they are.
Exactly.
I really can't see that being a problem. Now, just to make sure I'm understanding your question, if you were saying that you get to upgrade them literally to Morannon Orcs, no. Definitely not. So just making sure you're not asking.
You do have to pay the points then.
No, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would pay. Well, except for on the Great Beast, because Morannons can't even get.
Right, yeah.
So, we must assume that you just mean just throw Morannons up there.
Yeah.
In which case, feel free to have a full Morannon army. In fact, that gives you a lot of favorites at tournaments where, conversions and stuff.
And stuff.
I like it. So, all right. Now I guess we'll get to the last question of today from Ryan Ratchford. He says, there's a heated debate over here in Britain. Do you think the King's Champion is or should be a named hero? So, I actually have a lot more backstory than Walker does on this one. And,
go for it. Tell you.
No. I mean, have you been watching the Palantir on for the GBHL?
I haven't watched the last couple of episodes.
This is a heated debate. Apparently, in GBHL, the latest magazine, Tom kind of sparked a debate whether or not the King's Champion is a hero or not, or a named hero. And it comes from this. And I'll just explain it to you guys and to Walker here, is the Spider Queen was FAQ'd to be a named hero, and I don't think the Balrog was. So I think it was just the Spider Queen. He's the only one. But the problem is you have all these titled characters. Now, the Spider Queen was named hero because that was a balance issue. That was like, okay, the Spider Queen just needs to be a named hero. But in some cases, it's kind of assumed there really only should be one. What were some of those titles where it's like, you kind of feel like there shouldn't be more than one of them. Goblin Scribe. Goblin Scribe is just a generic title.
You can take more than one.
No, you really can't because it's a named hero, but it just has a weird generic title. So it's like certain characters where if it's a title, I'm trying to remember the argument. It's like
you mean like when I thought Cartouche the Firecaller, because the way his background reads, he's not a name.
Well, he's
reads
not
as not a name, but he is a name.
So they were talking about the Balrog. Should that be a named character?
There was more than one Balrog, so unless you name
I think no. I now okay. So this is where we actually differ from the GBHL's opinion, and actually I'll give my argument on this. Is that I don't see the King's Champion and a Balrog being broken if spammed. In fact,
you can spam Balrogs.
Yeah, I mean,
if you play big enough points, I suppose.
I suppose at 800 points you can spam 2, which is enough spamming. So, but the thing is, there are actually battles where Balrogs actually fought in abundance of numbers. Yeah. A King's Champion is not broken if spammed because his heralds tend to be overly redundant, so you're paying a lot of points for just this redundant thing that's going on. And they're terrifically powerful, yes, but they're not going to break an army on their own.
No, and I have no problem with them. Because technically, and under this, I would say under the spirit of the game, you would want to only take one because there would be one King's Champion per hold.
Yeah.
But there's multiple Dwarven holds, so there would still be multiple of
King's Champions.
Yeah.
And this is actually something that Damien brought up, is what you just said. Is that, there's just like, okay, you could have multiple kings, multiple champions.
There is multiple kings.
Then, there is, So, and then it leads into the discussion of like King's Huntsman and the Knight of the White Tower and whatnot. All these are these heroes with titles that I don't mind it being more than one. So now, given the fact that the GBHL made their ruling on that, but I think it's tentative, and I think it's just up for debate. But as far as an official DCHL ruling on that, I mean, we personally don't see the reason of making it a named character. In fact, the Spider Queen wasn't even intentionally made a named character. It just happened to be FAQ'd as such. So I'm trying to think, is there any other models we're missing? Because the Goblin Scribe, here's the thing, it's obvious where that came from. It's obvious it's a movie character that wasn't given a name, and so they gave it a generic name. They could have just named it something, but they didn't. But we
How wrong would it be to take like a whole army of Goblin Scribes? You just keep summoning more goblins, you get like 4 or 5 rolls.
No, it wouldn't even work, because if you did a whole army of Goblin Scribes, say you did a 700-point match, you'd only really get 14 of them, and that means your breakpoint is 7. So as soon as 7 of your summoned goblins die...
No, you take Goblin Scribe and 12 goblins.
Oh, okay. So if you're spamming goblins... Okay, gotcha.
And then you keep spamming more goblins.
You just hoard the hell out of goblins.
And you just watch your opponent just go... just slam their head against... Yeah, it's just the same... I would say it's like the same thing as building a theme list. Sometimes, certain themes don't work. Like elves and dwarves typically have not fought together.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that's like... Is there a debate on it? I'm trying to think. I mean, honestly, as far as me and Walker are concerned, I'm pretty sure a lot of the DCHL community would agree. No real sense in making him a named character.
Well, it would be like taking the generic ring race and taking more than 9.
No, but the rules specifically state you cannot take more than 9. And that's in combination of the named and unnamed ring race. Like, you can't take more than 9 ring race. So, even there...
Could you take Sauron and the Necromancer at the same time?
You could, but the rules state that one of them would automatically die. I believe it's the Necromancer. They kill each other.
Don't do that.
It wouldn't work. And I think his name is Sauron the Necromancer, if I believe right. That's actually a whole other debate.
Yeah, that's another.
No, but they do kill each other. I think the only one you can get away with it with is Saruman and Sharky. Because they have 2 different names. Well, but there is no indication. We only know they're the same guy because we know the lore. But if a player starts the game and has no idea of the lore, there is nothing to suggest. So, like, for instance, they do Aragorn, King Elisar, Aragorn, Strider, Aragorn, Chieftain of Arnor. They say his name over and over again,
True.
So, and they do that for almost all characters. The only one they don't do it with is Sharky and Saruman. So technically you can feel both of them, but it's not broken anyway.
I'm trying to think of any others that some of the Harad, but like the Harad assassin. What is it?
Oh,
called?
the Golden King. Like, should he be? Yeah, that's a title.
He's a title
character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Well, actually, that's a kind of a good thing. Like the Golden King, we're calling it a title, but King's Champion is a title.
Yeah.
So
and there could be more than one Golden King. That's it. I'll take.
Could you make? So the argument could go in the favor of could you take more than one Golden King? No, because it's the Golden King.
It was just.
It's not King's Champion. If it said Golden King, maybe I give you. Yeah, but it says the Golden King. So
it does imply one.
Yeah, and that doesn't apply to the same rationale as Goblin Scribe because we know he's from a movie. We know his character. He's just an unnamed.
What if I've never watched the movie?
Yeah.
Therefore, I can take more than one Goblin Scribe.
To be continued. Yeah, unfortunately, this is a hard ruling, but like I said, for us as of right now, we're thinking probably not a named character, just by the spirit of what that thing is going for.
Yeah, just by the spirit.
So that's all we have for you guys today. Go ahead and post more questions. If you have any questions about what we've said today, obviously we have a couple debate-worthy topics here and a couple clarifications that are needed. So other than that, go ahead and like us at our Facebook page. We give you guys the news and updates of what's going on. And also go ahead and check out our website where you guys can get tons of information. And also, if any of you guys are missing source books, feel free to email me at dchobbyleague@gmail.com, and I will make sure you guys get those out-of-production source books that you guys need to get new players into the game, etc. So email me there if you have any questions for that. And anything else for Walker?
Nope. Later, guys.
All right. See you later.